Okay, so this is probably the hardest problem on the review. It is a radical equation that has two radicals in it. So the first thing you need to do is get one of the radicals by itself. So I'm going to add over this square root of x minus 2 to both sides. Cancels out on the left, and then you're left with the square root of the 2x plus 5 by itself. But that's going to equal a 3 plus a square root of x minus 2. Now, once I get this radical isolated, I can square it to get rid of the radical, and that'll just leave me with the 2x plus 5. I don't know if you just heard that, but two cats are chasing each other now. Crazy cats. What you do to one side, you got to do to the other, which means you have to square this thing also. And you can't distribute exponents. You have to square this. It's actually a binomial. So I'm going to take a 3 plus a square root of x minus 2 times another 3 plus a square root of x minus 2. And I'm going to have to FOIL that, okay? So the left side, that 2x plus 5 is just going to be hanging around for just a little while. Okay, so I'm going to take first times first. 3 times 3, that's 9. Then I'm going to take my outsides, which is this 3 times the square root of an x minus 2. And since this is a plus here, it's going to be a plus here. 3 square roots of an x minus 2. Then I'm going to have to do the insides. The insides are this square root of x minus 2, which is a plus, times a positive 3. So that's another plus 3 square roots of an x minus 2. And then when I go to do last times last, you're actually taking a square root of x minus 2 times another square root of x minus 2, which is really a square root of x minus 2 that got squared. So that just leaves you with an x minus 2. And because it's a positive times a positive, there would be a plus sign right there. Now I still have this 2x plus 5 over here, but on the right side I'm going to combine like terms. Thank God I got enough colors for this. Let's see, let's go with orange on this. I've got this 9 here, and way down here I have a negative 2. Those are constants. So 9 and negative 2 is 7. And then I've got, let's go gray. I've got 3 square roots of an x minus 2 plus another 3 square roots of an x minus 2. So that means I have positive 6 square roots of an x minus 2. And then don't forget, you still have this plus x right here. He didn't have any like terms to connect with, so he's still right there. Okay. So I squared the left to get rid of the radical, and then I squared the right, and that is all the work I could do to simplify that. But now I have a second radical that still remains in my problem, and I have to get rid of him. But to get rid of him, I'm going to have to isolate, get him by himself. So I'm going to subtract the 7 from both sides. And I'm going to subtract the x from both sides. That way that cancels and that cancels. 2x minus x is an x, and 5 minus 7 is a negative 2. And then that's going to be equal to the 6 square roots of an x minus 2. And now I'm going to get rid of that 6 by dividing it off both sides so it cancels. And I have given myself more room here. So I'm going to be left with an x minus 2 all over a 6 is equal to the square root of an x minus 2. I have isolated him, so we can now square him off. But what you do to one side, you got to do to the other. So I got to square this nightmare over here. Okay, I'm gonna take a sip of my drink here. I'll relax, it's just water. Although I wish it were wine. Okay, so now on the right side, here's my equal sign. On the right side, I just have the x minus 2. On the left side, I have to take an x minus 2 over 6 times another x minus 2 over 6. Now the denominator is easy. 6 times 6 is 36. The numerator I have to FOIL. So first times first is x squared. My outsides are negative 2x and so are my insides. So that's negative 4x. And last times last is a positive 4. Okay, so I'm done getting rid of my radicals, but in the process of clearing out the radicals, I created a rational equation with a fraction in it. Oh, so I have to get rid of the denominator. And to get rid of the denominator, I am going to multiply both sides by the only denominator in the problem, and that is a 36. So it cancels out here, and you're just left with x squared minus 4x plus 4. However, on this side, I have to distribute the 36. So that's 36x minus 72. And now I have to deal with the fact that it's a quadratic equation. So set it equal to 0 and hope that it factors. I'm going to subtract the 36x to cancel that. Then I'll have to subtract 36x over here. I'm going to add the 72 to cancel that, but I got to add 72 over here. That's going to give me x squared minus 40x plus 76 equals 0. And believe it or not, that factors, because there are two factors of 76 that add up to a negative 40, and they are negative 2 and negative 38. So my two possible answers are x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 38. And I actually went back and checked them back to the original problem, which was, the original problem was the square root of 2x plus 5 minus the square root of x minus 2 equals a 3. That was my original problem. And when I stuck the x is 2, I stuck the 2 here in the here. Let's see, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. 2 minus 2 is 0. Square root of 0 is 0. 3, so that one checked. Bada bing, bada boom. And then when I plugged in the 38 here and here, I just made those purple. 2 times 38 is 76 plus 5 is 81. The square root of 81 is 9. And then 38 minus 2 is 36. Square root of 36 is 6. And 9 minus 6 is, yep, 3. So they check. Whew. That was a long problem, and I am almost out of time on my little 10-minute timer here. There we go.